Damn, dude, what happened?
The kill leader has been eliminated.
Ah, you were so close, buddy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
How's that?
you fell asleep and then you died.
No way. Lies and lies and lies. Bloody, say hi.
Hi.
Oh, there he is. What a beautiful man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Really good.
You do. You do look really good. So let's. However,
I already showed you. I took so many.
You did. You did. I have all my notes. There they are.
Right,
Look at that. They're backwards because of, you know, cameras, like mirrors. This is my left hand, but it looks like it's my right hand. If you do this.
Is it really backwards?
The mirror, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Like there's a setting in your Logitech settings in the OBS.
that sounds like something we're gonna visit at a later date.
Yep. We can let future Bloody and future
Mhm.
Sutty handle that.
Amen. Anyway, Bloody, how are you, man?
Every day's a gift, so
Just-
I'm great.
And that's why they call it the present.
Yes. Aw, I've never
Aw.
heard that before.
Are you serious?
That was the first one.
Dude, so real quick, let me tell you about my day. We decided to try, we've been watching a lot of Food Network, and did you ever see that movie, The Chef, with Jon Favreau?
No.
No? Very good flick, highly recommend it.
Have you ever seen? Nah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I thought about it.
It's very good. So Jon Favreau went balls deep and got trained by this guy, Joe, Choi, I don't remember, some Asian dude, chef, trained him how to cook.
Chin. That was it.
But he got balls deep into it, and then he was like, yeah, after the movie was over, he just stopped seeing me. It was like a bad breakup. And he was like, so we just started, I asked him to come by, and we started carrying a camera around, and we just started cooking shit, and they made a whole Netflix show out of it. And it's very good. But we watched one where they made lobster rolls, and I was like, man, that looks delicious. So we started looking around places for lobster rolls, and there's this place not far from us called the Angry Crab Shack. Have you ever heard of that place?
Oh yeah, I wish it was there.
Real good, real good.
Yeah.
Like, I have. Oh, look, it's a cattail. There it is.
I have a kitty. Kick it. Okay, you're gonna kick everything. Okay. Just trust her.
But went there real good. We got Maria and I split lobster rolls because it comes with two, and we got a soft shell crab po' boy. Have you ever had soft shell crab?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, it is very good. Like, I was like deceivingly good. It's just like a little bit of skin, like a sausage. It's like a crab sausage is what I'd really compare it to. But delicious. And we ate that and got some hush puppies there. It was so good. Clinton 420 said, and it has a Stella so gay in it. Love you both. See you later. That's Arnold from work.
I know.
That's good. Anyway, yeah. So that was my fucking day. Let me get in there.
Hey, you know what tomorrow is, right? It's already
no, not even tomorrow. It's right now. It's 12:08 a.m.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. There it is. There it is. And for you. Did you like that meme I sent you about Father's Day?
Yes, it was very funny. Let's revisit it.
Do it. I don't remember what it said off the top of my head, but I'm gonna get in there. It was something like, "Hey, any of you out there that have dads, you should really." Oh, there it is. No, not that one.
That's the best one.
But it was a good one. I showed that to Marie. She's like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "Yeah." Well, Marie doesn't have long nails, so there's that. So her hands are clean. She doesn't have any poop on her hands. But
yes, I sent. Oh, I remember what you sent me, and yes, I sent that to my mom, my dad, and my sister.
What'd they say?
They were like, "Ha ha 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 ha." Lindsay's like, "I know, right? That's my sister."
I was really hoping your mom would be like, "Oh, it's funny because it's true."
I know, that would be the best.
That would have been the best, and that would have been very on brand for your mom.
Yeah, because she's very honest.
She
in
is.
Situations she doesn't need to be, but she will be. It's like, okay.
Oh god, that's fantastic.
What the fuck is it?
Mm.
I found it.
Did you? Okay. I mean, I could find it in my Discord, but there it is.
You know, I'll pop it up.
All right.
On the,
You know, I'll pop it up as well. Can you send it to me in Discord, like right now?
Actually, yes, I can.
Send it to me in the thing we're on. Just our personal one.
That's not us.
You should get on us, bro.
God damn it. Up. For some reason I just said shit.
Don't do that.
There it goes.
There it is. If you have a dad, or if you have a dad, you really should be thanking him for bringing you into this world. Your mom probably wasn't even in the mood. Which, you know, truer words were never spoken.
That sounds about accurate.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, man, let's, how was your day? Tell me about your day.
Oh, no. Yeah, my week was actually pretty good.
Yeah?
I did. Really enjoying the new job still.
Good?
I really like the company that I work for.
Good. That makes me happy, man.
I feel like they're going to be rapidly expanding, so I look forward to growth opportunities there.
Good.
So, good.
Awesome, man.
We got... It's kind of like a not a lot happened type of week.
Yeah.
I've been mainly trying to iron out my issues with streaming Black Desert Online.
How's that working out? You getting it nailed down?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that weird anomaly the other day where you're like, hey, you were getting 12 frames per second, and then it was like, hey, it's all better.
It's the way that the game optimizes your computer, and it's really light on the GPU and really heavy on the CPU.
Sure.
But the CPU, it'll only utilize a single core. So it's like...
Because why not?
Because Korea,
Mm-hmm.
evidently they have awesome CPUs. And
Must be nice.
So it was like I looked into overclocking, and I looked into, which I'm not going to do, and then I looked into just replacing it, just upgrading, and then I'm like, I'm not going to do that either because I don't want to have to, because then it's like replace the motherboard.
Well, you don't really have to replace the motherboard as long as it's within the same generation. Because you have an i7, right?
I have an i7.
And it's the same chipset. Or you can do an i9 if you're going to pay for it.
If I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to go i9.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then it's like at that point, it's going to be a whole new rebuild, and I'll cannibalize what I can.
Yeah.
I have a decent setup. Like,
you do.
It runs a 1070. I got 16 gig of RAM, which is not. I could add. I looked into adding more.
Yeah, I have 16 gigs, man, and it does everything I need it to. I mean, you do more video editing than I do. So I mean, it would make sense for you to have more RAM, but for everything that I do, you know, until I try to play Cyberpunk, it doesn't make sense to try to
go light on that because that's on my list.
Oh, it's on mine too. It is right in there. We're gonna get right in there. So let's. Speaking of segues, let's just do it right now. So, you go ahead and start off. Give me the first game that or the first thing from E3 that you have, and I'm sure I have it on mine, and we will discuss it.
All right, so we had that's a perfect segue because we had a bunch of different games that were released, and I jotted down a few of them from each of the manufacturers. So we got Gears 5, Blair Witch that really has my attention, Luigi's Mansion 3, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Battletoads, which we've all been waiting for like 100
Oh my
years.
God.
Borderlands 3, Doom Eternal, which I'm super stoked about.
Me too, man.
Mark Gordon doing the music for that again.
So good.
That's his name.
Something like that. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Are you excited?
You asking me or just posing the question? Yeah, man. Final Fantasy VII was a big part of my childhood. I played through it twice. And it's not a short game by any stretch of the imagination. And I did everything in that game. Beat all the optional weapons and like all the ultimate weapons and whole nine. Like I did everything. Learned the materia and all that other garbage. So I mean, I fucking got in there.
Yeah, it was good. I was surprised to see that as a PS4 exclusive, but whatever.
Well, that's another thing we'll touch on because I have a theory.
We'll talk about it. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I like the Ghost Recon series, so that I'm excited about. I'm probably not going to buy it, but I'm going to be interested in watching people play it.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs Legion. Now, Watch Dogs is one that I actually kind of looked into.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a novel idea for an original game. The first one kind of flopped, I think, but the second one I heard was better.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought the first one was like, oh, that's pretty good, and the second one was like... But I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor.
I played neither, so I have no.
I played the first.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get in there.
But I think there's two games that are really the ones that people are talking about. We've got Cyberpunk 2077.
Obviously, yeah.
Those are the two that I think we're going to spend the most time talking about. Cyberpunk I have for two reasons.
Okay.
The one that we were just talking about, minimum system requirements.
Oh my God, yeah. So, yeah,
I'll pull those up on your end.
I have them. I read it. They're in my notes.
Oh,
they're in my notes. So, the minimum requirements are my. So about a year and a half ago, I built this gaming PC. Let me just.
This is really pretty. These should be shown.
Let me get this other terrible camera out of the way. So there it is, right? That's It's real pretty. Yep, got all that red. There's the
got that RGB, baby.
There's that Diablo skull in there, hanging out in there.
That's awesome.
Yep, he's in there. Anyway, that other camera just fell right over. So anyway, so basically the computer that I built to future-proof myself for several years. Is just the minimum requirements to play Cyberpunk 2077. So the minimum requirements to play this game on PC is a 1080 Ti, which I have in there, 16 gigs of RAM, which is all that I have in there. Yep. An i7 6700.
Was it 6700 or 8700?
I thought it was 67.
I read 87.
Did you?
Check it out one more time.
All right.
If there was only a way, I could
if only we just had the wealth of knowledge of the world at our fingertips. Go ahead and look it up. I'm gonna stay in our video.
Requirements. I got it. Intel i7 8700K.
Oh God.
Not just the 87.
8700K. Oh God, yeah.
It's gonna be pretty heavy.
So yeah, it's gonna be heavy. So I have a Ryzen 7 1700. So I don't think my CPU matches up to that. But yeah, and that's the minimum. So I'm gonna be running this shit. Yeah, I'm gonna be running Cyberpunk 27. This future-proof computer that I built is gonna run Cyberpunk 2077 on low. Just to get maybe 60 frames. Maybe.
I won't even be able to run it at all. Like, I will have to come to your house to play it on the internet.
Oh no. Oh, that was weird.
Back.
There I am. I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that.
Here, let me test this again. Watch this.
Uh-huh. I can't see. I see your face. That's all I see.
Oh, it's weird. As soon as I post something in your chat, it blanked it out.
Oh,
Stop doing it. Okay,
that's weird.
here's a
All right, whatever. So yeah, I've been fighting with settings within that Discord because it's our first time doing it this way, having this chat. So my older camera, which is what I was going to use here, and then have another one for stream, was blinking that green screen that you saw just now. It was blinking it off and on. So here we are, doing that.
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
This is why I wanted to even bring it up, not just because that's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that, you got to keep in mind that's like a $3,000 PC, maybe $2,000.
Yeah. No.
Just in parts.
Yeah.
Like if you price all that shit out, it's gonna need an SSD as well. It's not gonna run off a hard drive if you need that level of.
Well, so here's the thing. It would run off of a hard drive. The loading times would just be longer, but because it's strictly a single player game, who cares? You know what I mean? You don't need that read-write speed. But the graphics card power and the CPU and shit, because normally with most games, it's one or the other. Like it's mainly drawing off GPU or it's mainly drawing off CPU, depending on the game that you're playing and how well optimized it is. Like even The Witcher 3, right? When I built this computer, I couldn't run it on Ultra because of how powerful the game engine itself was. And I feel like Cyberpunk is going to be very much the same. That it's gonna, but worse. But worse. I'm just gonna have to buy another, $900 graphics card, run it an SLI, and then you can come over and we can take turns. Anytime I die, you can take over. Go through this playthrough together.
Here's the thing, though, too. Though, here's my gripe with it. Is why? Like, why are they making that level of requirement if it's going to be released on console?
Exactly. Not only, exactly. So on consoles, I can't imagine what it's going to look like there. It's going to be like Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. I don't know if you saw those screenshots, but it was just like, oh, shadows? Fuck you. No. You don't get any shadows.
You don't need shadows.
Yeah. But so I know we're talking a lot of shit about Cyberpunk because of how powerful the engine is and how shitty it's going to be to try to run it. It looks fantastic, and now it has more Keanu, which so good.
I fucking love me some Keanu. Here's the thing, so much that I'll consider making those upgrades. I probably won't, but I'm gonna seriously I'm gonna go through some budgeting. I
might make them because mine are less significant than the upgrades that you need to make. But
yeah, I mean, and also I've got. You're right. I could go i7 still and just upgrade the chip, and that's going to cost me like $300 or $400. And I could do. The thing is, though, is that video card's pretty high level, but EVGA does run a B stock section of their website, so you still get a brand new and certified, but it'll be cheaper because it's like somebody got it and returned it. Yeah. So it's like, I don't really have a huge problem with that, or I could just do refurb from Newegg or something like that. The options exist. But
you have. I mean, it's there. But so here's the other thing about Cyberpunk, right? It's made by the publisher and developer, CD Projekt Red, and they are notorious for just making phenomenal games. Again, they made all the Witcher series, all of them, Witcher 1, 2, 3. I only ever played 3. Didn't finish it because it's so goddamn long.
No, I didn't want to. I didn't want that game to end. I'm still playing it.
Yeah, me too. My save file. Here's the thing. So here's my relationship with The Witcher. I started playing it, was balls deep in it. I was like, oh, get in there. I was playing 10 to 12 hours a day. This is before I was in a relationship and whatnot, but I was playing it and got in there, and I'm a completionist, so I have to finish everything. So I finished everything in Skellige, the big fucking Russia landmass that you're on. Every optional quest, everything was done, And then I was like, all right, now I just have to go. Now I just have to go to this little island, and that's little. It's an island, so they can't possibly have as much to do. So I get over there, I take the boat, watch some cutscenes, do some things at the castle and whatnot with these Scottish guys, and then I open up the map when it opens up to me. I'm like, holy shit, this is just as big. Yeah, it's just as big. It doesn't scale. It's just like, whoa, there's 85 optional quests that you have to do. There's so many question marks. And it's like, fuck me. So then I just gave up on it for a while. I was like, because I just got overwhelmed. I was like, God, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's way too much for me to do. So then I stopped for a period of time, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to try to come back to it. So then I came back to it, and I was like, I don't remember how to play this game. Because it was like a year, and I was like, I don't remember how to do anything. I don't remember what these oils do. I have these mutation things that I have to do things with, and I just didn't remember how to do it. So then I tried starting a game all over again, and then I looked at the map again, and on a new game, and I was like, just as overwhelmed as it was when I got to that island. So I was like, fuck. This game is impossible to finish. But yeah, sorry. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make, sorry. CD Projekt Red is very good about making quality games with lots of content. Like I said, I was overwhelmed. It was due to the amount of content, but it was the reason I wanted to complete it so much is because the content was meaningful. It wasn't just like fetch quests and random stuff. It was you were making a difference in the world that you were playing in. So it was deep. It was there was a strong narrative to everything that you were doing. Which is why I enjoyed playing it so much. Which is also why I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077 so much.
Yeah.
For that exact reason, because I know that they're putting they put the time and the effort into making sure that it wasn't just fluff. Like the game wasn't just filled with fluff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. They must employ a significant number of writers. Because it's like every single quest that you do, all of them, even like the little one-off side quests that take 15-20 minutes, you still give a shit. Like it was
right.
It had like emotional attachments to like a character that you're only going to see for the
for 30 seconds. There's that werewolf that you end up deciding whether you're going to kill or save, and it like I spent 10 minutes. I spent 10 minutes like, shit, like I don't want to kill him because you end up just wash your face like, what kind of fucking person am I?
What kind of man are you?
But no, they're real weighty decisions, but in the grand scheme of things, they're really not, because you know how often you see that werewolf after that.
That was it.
0 times. You don't see him ever again after that. But they do such a good job with telling that story and making you feel sympathy for every character that there was even a guy like right in the beginning who stole shit from you, who lured you into a trap. And I don't remember what specifically it was, but he lured you into a trap. You end up having to chase him down on your horse, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Trying to fucking kill me?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "I'm sorry, something terrible, sob story, but real." And you're like, "Oh man, I was ready to just stab you in the throat, and now you pull this shit."
Cut you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But anyway. I digressed a bit. It's
a bit.
A solid publisher. Like they said when they started making this game, I don't know, 8 years ago, that they were going to take their time and it would be ready when it was ready. And in this day and age, especially in this day and age, that's an answer I'm okay with, because there have been. I'd rather have them do that. Yeah, there have been way too many games that were rushed out to meet a deadline or to meet a date in order to achieve quotas and expectations that I'm okay when people are like, hey, don't worry, we got this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right. Anyway, do you have anything else on Cyberpunk?
Yes, I think so.
Go ahead. I have one other thing.
Come say hi. Yeah, we are. Come say hi. Get into the camera.
Hi, James.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, man. James. James, look into the camera for me real fast, bud.
He wants you to look into the camera.
Hey, I really appreciate the fact that you told me that, or you told your dad that I was a better streamer than him. It means the world to me.
No.
He said that I told him that no, you said that he was a better streamer than me because he was funnier, and he said that he really appreciates that.
Your silence means everything.
He was like, Dad, you're not as good of a streamer as him because he's a lot funnier than you are. He tells better jokes.
Well, at least he also talks a lot. If you play by yourself, you just.
I talk. When was the last time you watched one of my streams? It's like 2016.
Months ago.
Hey man, maybe you should start watching them again.
I'm more into his stream.
Are you hearing this?
Yeah. Hey, he said he's more into my
flesh
stream.
and blood. Yeah, he's like, sure, it's better.
Then we'll ask him why he hasn't followed me yet.
How come you don't follow him? Yeah, silence again.
Yep. And he exits. He leaves.
And
He's like,
exits.
ooh, follows. That's a commitment.
Subscribe. Hey, can you do me a big favor?
I'm not gonna refill that with
Please, it's already done. I can pour it in. Just take the lid off. Here, let me take the lid off for you. Coffee is in the coffee pot. I birthed you. This is the least that you could do. You're awesome. You look like a monkey. Come on. I don't look like a cow. Cows do not look like this. I strongly disagree. Fill it up and I'll tell you a funny baby story. Okay, so after the Cyberpunk 2077.
You said you had one more thing on there. You had one more thing.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
After its release, like at E3, it had a surprising blowback. Did you hear about this? Complaints? It is
God,
sexist and
Jesus
transphobic
Christ,
for having a white male protagonist.
People, well, not only that, it's completely customizable. They don't have to be white. It just happened to be white in the trailers. Not only that, they had the trans thing. I remember somebody just dissected the gameplay or trailer they showed, and there's a little screen, and it had what appeared to be a woman, and just a Johnson, just right there from the bikini line up, just hard as a rock. It was like, good for you, congratulations. But yeah,
me too, man.
But it was like, man, calm down. Like, if anything, it's not satire. They're not making fun of it. They're more celebrating it than anything, I think. You know what I mean? It's not like, quit taking offense to every little tiny thing, man. Just because I don't want to get too deep into it, but
there needs to be. I get social justice, like I get it. Like when somebody does something wrong, they should be called out on it.
Right.
Here's the thing: don't make something out of nothing. It is not. Be outraged. Like it's not. That's our culture, though. That's like to be cool.
Triggered. Yeah.
Dude. Oh, I'm so. Dude, all right. First of all, you're a fucking pussy. All right. Quit pussifying our great nation. That shit is strong.
It's not even our great nation. It's our aggressively mediocre nation at this point. But like it's like just calm down. It's a fucking game. They are making social commentary for sure. Could it have been done better? Probably. But fucking exactly. It's a goddamn game. Be happy. Because here's the thing: if it wasn't included, they'd have been in up in arms about it not being included at all. So it's like, what the fuck is it that you want?
I don't like it, and I want it to stop now. I'm ready.
Anyway,
just ready for
that's
that.
The only other thing I had about Cyberpunk was in the trailer that they showed. I was a little upset about the spoilers that they let out because in the first like 45 or 47 or whatever minute trailer or gameplay thing that they did, the last one, they show you going to cahoots with this metal armed Rick Ross looking dude.
Fuck yeah.
And then he ends up killing your Mexican guy. He gets killed. Yeah, he gets killed during the thing and double crosses you. It's like, man, I would have liked to have been shocked by that while I was playing the game as opposed to before it was released. But You know, it is what it is.
I-
And maybe that's just one
Why?
option.
It's just, yeah, who knows? Like, we'll have to get into the game. Maybe it wasn't spoiling anything at all either. That
Yeah,
could have been
like maybe that's not what I'm gonna get. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We don't know until we get into actually
We
play
don't.
the game.
Give me 5 seconds. I'm gonna grab a drink. I will be right back. Feel free to add some commentary because you are live to all of my viewers right now, and let them just drink you in. Let them take you in slowly and smoothly.
I'm going to ignore
As
them.
soon as it. Fair enough. All right.
Until we return, this is what's happening.
All right. Fair enough. Be right back.
It's because I'm shy. Alright, my arm got tired. Can't do it anymore. Also, I'd like to point out real quick that this stream is brought to you by Big K Diet Cola, the hands down absolute #1 worst Diet Cola on the market today. Thank you, Big K, for making this drink.
All right, man. Here we are. Right back.
Just plug responsible.
Dude, let me tell you about a struggle that I have, right? Is that Bolt Cola?
Sure.
Oh, Diet Cola. Do you remember? Oh, no, it was Jolt. Jolt was the soda back in the day when we were younger.
I miss Joel.
I think it caused anal leakage, and that's why you can't drink it anymore.
They made like it switched to energy drinks. Did you see that?
I do remember that.
I feel like we talked about this before.
Probably.
We talked about it.
Anyway, moving on, because we've talked about one game so far.
Wanted to talk about the other one.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Let's do Death Stranding.
All right,
Let's talk about it.
Get in there.
We finally have a plot to the game, which means I still don't understand what this game is about.
Yeah, so man, there's so much, dude. It's Hideo Kojima, and that man is fucking insane. He is an insane person. Hideo Kojima?
No, it's Hideo Kojima.
Oh yeah, Hideo Kojima. That man's insane. So from what I've gathered, you are everything's separated into little colonies, I guess, is what you call them.
Fractured civilizations.
Fractals. I think that's what they called them, actually, is fractals. And you are a delivery man for the fucking president, apparently, who has cancer.
Oh.
And because I remember in one of the trailers, you see fucking what's his face is talking in the Oval Office. Yeah, Norman Reedus just in the Oval Office next to a hospital bed, which is also located in the Oval Office. I feel like that's a logistical, anomaly. But
Kojima doesn't know. He's never been.
He
there.
doesn't.
He
Yeah,
don't know either.
that's true.
The Earth
But
is flat.
you're delivering shit, and then to build bridges, you have a company called Bridges, and you're building bridges between all these different civilizations and whatnot. But there's this Black Death or whatever the fuck it is, and if you die in the game, you end up getting sucked into like the Upside Down, like in
Stranger Things.
Yeah. And then it showed like World War II and fucking tanks and all this other garbage, and that's where you actually have the first the battle aspects of it. It was real fucking weird. Like it didn't.
It's definitely gonna be like the weirdest game of all time.
It's gonna be like
the weirdest AAA title to ever be released.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the pretentious art of this medium. You know what I mean? It looks like it can be entertaining. It looks like it can be fun, but it's very much gonna have a deeper meaning than a lot of people I think are gonna grasp. Me probably being one of them. I'm gonna play it and be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, I'll probably give you that text of what the fuck did I just see. here's the thing, though. This isn't the thing. I don't know why I started the sentence that way.
Okay.
I jotted down I think I got the plot line down in one sentence.
Okay.
It says it's connecting the fractured civilizations from a supernatural event called the Death Stranding.
Fair enough. Yeah. They talk. Yeah, they talk about like Hideo Kojima talked about beached whales and shit. Like it's very environmental to a degree. And it's like I don't understand. I don't get it. So I'm gonna have to play it like to truly try to grasp any type of understanding out of it. And did you ever play any of the Metal Gear games?
I didn't play a single one.
Me either. I haven't either. But apparently they're fantastic. They're not mine either.
They looked really good. I get why people like them, but I don't like stealthy games. I'm more of like a Fallout, Far Cry.
Leroy Jenkins.
So fucking
Yep.
Every motherfucker.
Well, I get that. See, I liked a lot of those stealthy games, so it's very surprising that I didn't get into that one. Actually, but I didn't, and now here we are.
It's funny, man. It was originally announced 2016 E3, and then 3 years later, they're finally giving us a date at. I think they've given us 3 trailers in 3 different E3s. The one, remember the dude under the bridge?
Yeah, it was Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, and then we had what's his nuts last year, Brandon Norman Reedus, and like the field, like they were walking around and.
Yeah, and then there's the meteor crater, and then there's the there's a lot. There are lots of little trailers that were like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, none of it made any sense. It was one of those that, like, I have no what this game's about.
Yeah, I still don't.
It was all off-putting. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I still don't know what's happening. Hopefully one day it will.
Yeah.
A girl can dream.
It was released under the guise also of another PS4 exclusive. Thoughts?
Is it really? No, it's not.
Right there, PS4 exclusive. I dug deeper because that's the kind of journalism you can expect from me. I say no, because in a QA prior to the name Death Stranding even becoming a thing, it was mentioned in a Sony and Kojima production press release.
Yeah,
that it would be PC release. It'd be kind of like the Red Dead Redemption. They released it on PS4 and then released it on PC.
Here's the thing, that Red Dead Redemption 2 hasn't been released on PC yet.
Yeah, I was just using it as an example. But that game was in 2015, so
fair
that was
enough.
4 years ago.
We'll see what happens. Like, if it doesn't come out on PC, then
Here's the thing. Question for you: is that a missed opportunity or genius marketing by Sony?
No, man. I think
to move PS4s.
I think especially with the way that the industry is going now, with PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo all combining into the what's it called? Where you share the online space. You know what I'm talking about? There's a phrase for it. Like Fortnite. You can play a cross-platform. Cross-platform, yeah. I think that exclusivity is a dying option, and I do too, man, because I paid so much money for this goddamn computer. Like, I don't want to buy, and especially with the new generations of PlayStations and Xboxes coming out, I don't want to spend another $500 on each one of those for their exclusive titles. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Having cross-platform for people who don't care about the other aspects of having a PC, and paying for one of the consoles, but still having the option to play with the people that do, it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense, and it seems like that is the direction that it's going. In that, like I said, PlayStation and Xbox, Sony and Microsoft are in the works to make cross-platform a thing for all of their future titles, which
should be. I think it's a much better. And think of the fun that comes out of that too, where it's like tournament play of Xbox versus PS4. Like, who's really the final victor.
Yeah, and I mean,
Like, that
console
would be
players
fun.
definitely have a disadvantage to people who play with mouse and keyboard. I've learned that over the years of last year and a half of me playing with the mouse and keyboard. But
Mouse and keyboard or keyboard and trackball.
you know what? Fuck you.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I play with this guy right here. Hey, baby.
You get it done, man.
I do.
And yeah, so I don't know. I would love to see that. Is it gonna be multiplayer?
To a degree.
Do we even know?
To a degree, they said.
Or is it gonna be like Fable, where it's you versus someone else?
I don't think it's going to be that either. I think it's going to be mostly multiplayer, but if it's going to be like Dark Souls, where people make an impact on the environment that you're actually playing in, but you don't see them for real. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to, like, we have to wait and see what it actually looks like, you know?
Yeah. That's all I got for Death Stranding. I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out. I'm going to be really disappointed if it's a PS4 exclusive, though.
So will I. I won't get it. I'll watch somebody else play it on
Do you
Twitch.
have PS4?
I do, but
Just get it. I'll come to your house.
I also have Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
What I did play, though, that was a PS4 exclusive, was Spider-Man. That game was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It was the best superhero game that's ever been released. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. The physics and the fact that webs that you shoot out stick to anything, like they actually stick. Because you can go into photo mode, take a picture, your web's on something. Like wherever you shoot it, you track it, it's stuck to a building, it's stuck to a bridge, a car, something. It's good. Anyway, moving on.
So Microsoft had some announcements with the Xbox Project Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to catch the specs on this thing?
I didn't touch on any of it.
That's actually pretty impressive if this is what comes to be. It's got 8K graphics, SSD, and ray tracing.
Well, it's going to trace all the rays?
All the rays are going to get traced by
Oh, man.
And so 8K graphics, I don't... I'll always say this and I'll always be wrong. Like, can you be better than what it already is?
I don't know that it's...
Yes,
but I don't know that that's really a realistic term right now. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't exist. For
Yeah,
one. Like,
exactly.
There's no television that'll.
There's no television, there's no monitor, nothing can do it right now. So it's like, I could be like, hey, it's 64K.
Yeah, and it's got the. Well, I mean, you're talking about.
Like
years out.
the base technology may be there, but the actual display technology isn't there.
And they did the same thing with Xbox One, which was at the time Xbox Scorpio. Is what they called it?
No, Scorpio came out after Xbox One, I thought. I think that's the Xbox One S. I could be wrong.
Ones.
Once, yeah, the ones. Xbox Ones.
But yeah, so that's ray tracing. So I don't fully understand. I didn't understand what ray tracing was and why it's interesting.
So ray tracing is very impressive, actually.
Oh, I took notes.
Okay. So the way that ray tracing works is the way that and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's very possible that I am.
Look at all these notes, ray tracing right here.
Man, look at all those arrows. There's so many.
I wrote shit down.
So the way that ray tracing typically works is if you can't, like in normal games, if you can't see it, it has no effect on your point of view, your little cone of view here. What ray tracing does is if something's happening over here, which is outside of your view, like a explosion or a light or a flash or whatever, it affects what you're seeing here. And it takes that and simulates it through ray tracing technology and impacts what it is that you see from your point of view. So that adds dynamic reflections and shadows and whole nine, which adds a lot of realism to what it is that you see while you're playing your game.
And we have artificial ray tracing in games now, but that's like built in just regular static animations. So it's like it's not real. Like, it won't be what they're talking about. So they're talking about like you said, the idea is that light is now realized. So, and it just, if you look at like your befores and afters, and I'll cut this in so that someone can actually see the differences. It's considerably noticeable.
It is very impressive. Like I remember watching the technology stream. They showed exactly the ins and outs of what happens, and then they showed that the Star Wars fucking elevator scene that was all just animated and with ray tracing. It was like, this is a scene from a movie. Like this is real. Is this real life?
I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because in film this is already done, where they simulate ray tracing as well by building it in. But the computer processing power between the two is where the difference comes in. This is why it was never in games before, where a film, this is interesting that I read, to render ray tracing on current computer hardware, it takes anywhere between 12 to 24 hours per frame to render.
Yeah.
And then now we're talking about in 60 to 120 frames per second, they're gonna do the same thing, but instead of hours, it's now gonna take 16 milliseconds. So it's a dramatic increase in computing power to be able to process it that quickly. But that's why we don't see it, just because it just took way too much to actually.
Yeah. And now there's 10,000 petabytes. I don't remember. I remember reading something about petabytes, and I was like, "That's a big number." I'm not going to remember that.
It would be 5 commas in that.
Yep. All of the rays being traced.
And then, so this is current technology in PCs. We have it in the NVIDIA RTX cards. I think that's what the 2080 has it.
All of them. All the RTX
all the
cards. Yeah, all the 20 series. All have it.
So it exists, but enjoy spending somewhere between 3.
Yeah, here's my thing with the ray tracing, right? Is it's a great idea, and it's gonna revolutionize the way that games are made. But right now, to constitute paying for it with the limited amount of games that are going to be incorporating it into it, it's not an industry standard by any stretch of the imagination. So there's no point in investing in it at this point. Maybe in the 3000 series, maybe. Because then time will have passed and it'll be closer to an industry standard, at that point. And I mean, affordable, maybe. But I mean, it's
theory. Somebody can afford it. I think there's like a handful of games that have it now, but it's
not very many.
Few and far between. I think they're like the new Battlefield has it, and then it may say that
Tomb Raider has it. Yeah, I mean, but it's not worth. At this point, it's not worth it. In my opinion,
it's not a thing. But it's funny because we say this now, and from now everything will happen. You're going to start seeing like game updates so that it includes it. So
that's a lot that goes into incorporating that, though, man.
I know.
That's a whole amount of rendering.
I know what you're saying, and I stick into my story. Absolutely.
What's that? Jamaican or Irish?
That's Jamaican.
I don't know where we're at right now. Anyway, moving on. Next game. We've been through 2 so far.
I only had 2 that I really
Did you really?
Talk so much about. Yeah, just those 2.
All right,
hit me.
I have a few more. All right, so we talked a little bit about Doom Eternal, right? And I'm just gonna boom, boom, boom. We're gonna get through this right now. Ready? So
let's go.
Doom Eternal. It looks like just everything that Doom 2016 was, and I love all of that. I love everything that Doom 2016 was, from the fucking gameplay and the way that they revolutionized it, to where it's like, hey, you always have to be fucking killing something in order to survive, so you fucking run and gun and slam shit, rip something's jaw off, stab it in the jaw, fucking just get in there and kill everything. Also, the soundtrack you touched on a little bit ago.
McGordon, yeah.
The soundtrack from Doom 2016 was the best. I could listen to that by itself. I don't even need to play the game. Like, I just want to. Yeah, fucking so good. It's like, I want to fucking kill demons right now. And
there went a lot went into that. A lot.
Yeah.
Where I actually watched a seminar with Mick Gordon, the guy who did all the music for it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And what's actually funny is recently within the last maybe month or so, they finally found the 5th Easter egg in that soundtrack.
Really?
Where it's like, we'll get into it later, but it was. Well, actually, no, we'll get into
Yeah,
it. Right
get in now. We're on it.
He was while he was making it, the way that the sound was created was there's a seminar he did through GDC where he explained how the audio was created, and it was like it's super like audio nerd type stuff, but basically you took a signal from a computer, put it to a pitch, and then split it 4 times, and then ran it through like guitar pedals, and then condensed it into one output. And then basically to change pitch and to change what it's doing, you would just play with the knobs on the pedals, so that it would start doing weird stuff, and then it's happened. And then he incorporated a 9-string guitar, which is that really super low, that
That's awesome.
But
Dude, I love everything about it. So
when he was making these tones, he would hide things sonically inside the tone, so you'd have to like run it through like a spectrograph, and it would actually create pictures.
Really?
It'd be like 666 and then a pentagram, and then 666.
No shit.
And it was simply like and you have to run it through a very specific file type and a very specific program to even see it. And he was like, no one in their right mind is gonna. What are the odds, you know?
To the internet.
So after the game release, it took a week, and somebody had already found it. And it was like polluting our children's souls with this satanic rhetoric. I'm like, did you play the game?
That's awesome.
But
So
the very last one was finally found.
the other thing I'm excited about, right, is the way that the trailer made it sound, or made it appear, is that you are also, in addition to battling demons from hell, you're also battling the angelic race, whatever that is. They had a specific name for them. I didn't know what they were, but I saw their big orange wings in the trailer, and I was like, oh shit, like we're gonna be fighting angels and demons, because the fact that you are killing all the demons in hell has a direct effect on the on heaven, I guess. And yeah, it offsets the balance. And I told Marie about it, and she's like, and I was just like, that's awesome. I was just thinking, oh, that's awesome. You get to fucking fight angels also. She's like, yeah, it's because of the balance. And I was like, oh my god, that makes all the sense. She's like, yeah, because you're killing all the evil, all the good taking up everything, and then it's not right. So they have to stop you from doing that. I was like, holy shit. That's amazing. So now you're fucking killing everybody. Pop, 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 pop. That was sideways. Pop, pop, pop. Anyway.
I really hope I can shoot a pistol sideways in the next 2 games.
Next game. All right. Rapid fire.
Never gonna happen.
Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3. It's everything that I wanted out of Borderlands. I was so excited.
I want to play it so bad.
I was so excited that they kept the whole cell shading artistic fucking vision of it. I was really worried they were going to try to modernize it and make it like, you know, industry standard and not cell shaded, but they kept it. I was really excited about it. Additionally, every character has several special abilities that they can use, each with their own cooldown, which is amazing. Loot looks exactly the same, which I'm a fan of. I loved that game for all of the loot that I got. What else? There's a different Claptrap voice actor, but from everything that I've seen, he follows through on what Claptrap was prior to everything. It's just more over-the-top awesomeness that I expect out of Borderlands. I'm excited to play it. The only downside that I have with Borderlands 3 is that it is an Epic Store exclusive for 6 months. That's it. And that's a whole other conversation we get into another time between the Epic Store and Steam and all that other garbage. But, do you have anything on Borderlands? Anything you want to add?
Love Borderlands, can't wait to play it.
Good. All right.
Just fun.
2 other games.
Mindless violence.
Ah, so good. And hilarity. Like, it's so funny. Like, all the games were super funny. All right, it's 2 more games, right? So, Final Fantasy VII.
Remake.
Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have been excited about this game since they announced it being a thing, I think 3 years ago. Final Fantasy VII was... Hold on. I got you for a second there. Like I said earlier in the stream, Final Fantasy VII was a big part of my childhood. I played through it twice, 100%ed everything. I'm getting it, no matter what. No, hold on. I know you did. Here's my thing, right? It's a beautiful game. It looks beautiful. The way the combat's done is, I think, very well done in the way that it takes things from Final Fantasy XV, which I haven't played. I've seen it played, but you're able to take cover from enemies and whatnot. It's very active, as opposed to the turn-based that Final Fantasy VII was when it came out. But you still have the active time battle ATB system.
Yeah.
But it's used differently now, so it encourages you to be aggressive and stay on attack, because your active time battle gives you these bars that you fill, and as those get filled, you're able to use weapons and use items or magic to consume one of those bars. So if you need to heal yourself, you need to go in and attack and fill that bar up. So I think that's really really well done in that aspect. So the downsides, right? It's being released as a multi-part game. So Final Fantasy VII was a three or four disc game on PlayStation 1. That was the game that I bought a PlayStation 4. Was that particular game? Yeah, it was like this thick. Yeah. But so pros and cons of this, right? So the first game is all in the opening city of Midgar, and you're part of this environmental terrorist group, or extremist group, not terrorist, but
PETA.
But because there's this company Shinra that's sucking the life energy out of the planet, and they're using it to power the whole world and whatnot, and your group is there to stop it. You're playing a mercenary Cloud who is there to stop them from doing all that garbage. The first game is just in that opening city, which is like 1/5 of the original game takes place in Midgar. But that's the whole first game. That's it. It's just that game, or it's just that city rather. And who knows when the other ones are going to be released after that, you know? The plus to that is that they're expanding the story out a little bit, which would be nice, because Sephiroth, the main protagonist of the whole game, shows up way earlier than he does in the original game. The other downside that I have with it, right, is the price points. Did you see these? Mm-hmm. So there's a $60 game, right? The standard, $60 game gets you the game. If you pre-order it, you get like a materia, like a summon materia for a chocobo. There's an
Pokemon?
It's pretty much, yeah. There is an $80 version of the game that gets you another Pokemon summon, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then it makes the jump from $80 to $330. And that gets you a third Pokemon in addition to a statue of Cloud on a motorcycle. So my thing is, if they release this as a trilogy, that's $1,000 you're paying if you want the biggest fuck you edition of the game.
I really want it to be called that.
That's what I call every big edition of any game. It's the hey, fuck you, this is really expensive edition. That's $1,000 they're making on this one game, the one. So there's that.
Are you gonna pay it?
No. I might pay for the $80 version. I'm paying because these materia, the summons, they weren't in the original game, so it's like I don't fucking care. I want the best remake of the original game that I can get, and that's it. One more game.
Hit me.
One more. The Outer Worlds.
Oh, thought you were gonna say Luigi's Mansion 3.
Nope. I don't have a Switch, so I'm not everything Nintendo.
Nintendo 2DS. What's up?
So the Outer Worlds, have you kept up with it at all?
No.
Okay,
I know
so
what it is, but I don't know.
it's by Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I have one more game after this that I just remembered. So it's by Obsidian. They made Fallout New Vegas, which arguably is the best Fallout game of the franchise.
Yeah, I can see that.
So when they released the first trailer last year, they were like, hey, from the makers of Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. So it was the original writers, the original people who produced Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. They're like, from the original creators of Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 and the people who brought you Fallout New Vegas, here's this cool game that's basically Fallout. So it's basically Obsidian being like, hey guys, do you want to play another best Fallout game ever?
This is under a different name because we don't know.
It really sucks what Bethesda's doing, doesn't it? With Fallout 76. Yeah? Well, we have a thing that we can't technically call Fallout for the risk of the inevitable litigation. Yeah. But you might as well take a look at it. So it plays very much the same way that Fallout does. Is when you talk to somebody, it's like zooms right in, and then your dialogue options are right there. You have fucking weapon choices and skill trees and all this other shit. So it's basically Fallout New Vegas in space is essentially what it is. And I'm balls deep into that game. Obsidian hasn't disappointed me yet, and Fallout New Vegas was my favorite of all the Fallout games that we played thus far. One more game. You ready?
PS4 exclusive.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. The Final Fantasy VII. Rewind. Final Fantasy VII. You said PS4 exclusive. They said coming first to PlayStation 4, which leads me to believe.
Those are the same thing. They'll
You say that. I don't think so. I think maybe someday comes to Steam, all that other garbage. Girl could dream. Anyway, last one, and you will. Last one, Baldur's Gate 3. Did you play any of the Baldur's Gate back in the day? No, it's very Diablo-esque, like first Diablo, very Diablo-esque. Neither of them were up to speed for their time. They weren't graphically impressive, but the story was deep. And this one opened up with a cinematic trailer, as many games do, of this knight in this castle just screaming like a madman and looking around him and just seeing all these dead people all over the place. And he's pointing his sword at things that aren't there, and then he screams out in pain, and then his eyes, like his face, just gets all disfigured. And actually, do you have my stream up by chance?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna
Not a dick.
all right, we're gonna take a look at the trailer. You ready? Okay.
And here's where things go wrong.
All right. It's a minute 35 seconds.
I can spare that.
You with me?
I saw it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play the whole thing just for because it's a minute and a half. We got a minute and a half. Yeah. I mean, we've been here this long. You don't need those teeth. No, those are just molars. Those are probably dislocated. shooting out were a solid, effect. Yeah, so it's basically you're fighting Sky Cthulhu. Is how I feel about it.
See that?
But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it because it's a solid RPG, lots of hours you could put into the first two. What the fuck is the song that's playing right now? It's weird.
It's.
I mean, I know the name of it, but
I can't hear it.
Yeah. Anyway, those are the games that I had, man. That's everything.
Let's talk briefly about kicked out for their new service. Streaming services for games.
Okay.
That?
I didn't dive too deeply into them though. There's the Google one.
Yeah, xCloud by Google. Uplay Plus by Ubisoft. Bethesda and Square Enix have unannounced but are working on it. We're talking about.
Dude, one more thing, right? About the Ubisoft stream or showcase.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted, and I tweeted about it, and I got lots of retweets on it. All that I wanted out of the Ubisoft conference was right at the end of it, just that sound of the night vision goggles turning on, the pew. Like, that's all I wanted, because I fucking miss Sam Fisher. I don't know if you ever played Splinter Cell games. I had you said earlier you don't like the stealth-based games, but
games.
They were very well done, and that's all that they had to do. That's it. Just at the end of it, like, all right, guys, have a good one. Thanks, bye. And then the screen goes black, and then you just hear, pew, and then those 3 green dots. That's it. That's all they had to do, and everybody would have been lost all their shit. But anyway,
Did you get it?
no, it didn't happen.
I didn't watch Ubisoft.
Hmm?
I didn't watch Ubisoft.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen. They had a lot of Just Dance on there, though.
I hate that shit. Okay, so game streams.
Yeah.
Talking about like also Netflix games is coming where it's basically
No, it's not.
buying in person. I swear
God
to God.
damn it.
So here's the thing. Is it even feasible, like mechanically, to be able to stream a game versus download it? So now you're not talking about
From a cloud? Because then you have zero hardware necessities off of it.
Don't need it at all. And then
But then you have
storage.
large input lag. So if you're trying to do anything competitive,
That's the thing.
it's not going to make sense whatsoever.
And then just like the bandwidth that you would need. So you're talking about now, like with streaming services now, they're pretty condensed where you can watch Netflix and Hulu with a lot of people have data caps.
Yeah.
Or you'll still be able to watch your TV and stuff like that. Talking about game services, you're really limited on even the people that can even own that. Like they can't run it. And on top of that, you have to have broadband wide enough to be able to download, for instance, a 4K game in real time. So now you're talking about like if you don't.
Yeah, you're not even talking about the base game size. You're talking about
bandwidth,
what you're doing within the game. So you have a 170-hour game that's at least 5 or 6 times the bandwidth that the actual physical disk space that game
and
takes
just to be
up.
able to stream it, like, to be able to.
Yeah, then if you're talking about also streaming that game whilst playing it, then you've doubled.
Like the stream.
No, I know. But then if you're, then as a streamer, you're like streaming it down, then streaming it back up. So you're doubling the bandwidth that you're using in order to play this one game. It doesn't make any sense, man. At this point, with the data caps or with the way that the industry is with.
Right at the bottom.
Nope, doesn't make sense. No,
Does that make
that's
sense?
the answer.
The only people who can do it are like a gig down.
The only people that can do it are the people who have gig down, gig up, and unlimited bandwidth. And do you know how many people that is in the U.S.? A small fraction.
Get down up. I have unlimited.
The rest of the world,
Jesus.
though, the rest of the world could probably do it because their internet is way cheaper. There's a guy that I talked to in Slack at work. He has 1.5 gigabit upload,
Not
and he's
only
like,
does he have it, it's even better.
yeah, he's like, we pay $12 a month. I'm like, what?
Of their currency.
Yeah, I'm like, that's insane. That sounds amazing.
He would come here and never stop vomiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tell him about it all the time, and he was like, "I'd just kill myself." It's like, well, yeah, it's a fair assessment, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, so yeah, I had those. Like, this is kind of an offshoot.
There's so
but
many, man, it's they're trying to introduce this thing, and it doesn't make sense.
Maybe do they? Here's the thing, though. Big development companies like that, outside of game development itself, but actually service provider games like that, they're not stupid. So it's like,
You say that, man.
I say that, and now take game development out, but like service level, like where it's maybe they know something that we don't.
I mean, maybe they know the direction of the industry, but as far as how consumers will respond to that direction is an unknown variable to them, and that's what they have to deal in.
Like, that's the thing. You're absolutely right, but it's like, it made me think as if it's that low of a percentage. Now, I feel safe saying that they probably make most of their money off the United States. Like, I feel pretty safe
absolutely.
with that.
But here's the thing: the yeah. That industry, the broadband industry, is mainly in the United States because the United States is where most of those monopolies are held. Because I mean, in California, you have Comcast. That's your only option, really, is Comcast or shit.
That's by design too.
And but there's just enough small companies to where it can't be considered legally a monopoly. Excuse me. It's the same thing here in Arizona with Cox. You have the option
What's the other one?
CenturyLink. CenturyLink
Oh yeah,
is the other option, and that's terrible. And Google tried to come here. Google Fiber tried to come in here,
that.
and then Cox litigated them into oblivion to get them out of here. And they're like, "Fuck this! This is way too hard." So they didn't do it. And this would be a prime spot for it because of they were going to start in Tempe, which is where ASU, Arizona State University, is, and they were going to wire the dorms and the housing all around there, and then build it out from there, which is just the like fucking ingenious. It's ingenious to start there and then build their way out. And they're like, Cox is like, fuck that. That's way too cheap. We're not doing that.
Here's the thing. I don't understand what they could have litigated them with. Like what?
Non-compete, I think. I don't remember what specifically it was. It was something that was legally sound but morally reprehensible.
Yeah, well, that's cable.
Welcome to the world.
No, welcome to the United States. That's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I got one last thing. What do you got?
I'm done. This is you, buddy. This is your show right now. Take it away.
All right, so it was a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna talk E3, you can't not talk about Dr. Disrespect. And
Oh
his
my
band.
god, yeah.
First off, we all have thoughts. Like, the fuck were you thinking, man? What? And here's the thing: I've done dumb shit before where I was just like, oh, I'm mad. But I don't think that he even thought about it.
I don't think that he did. I think it was.
Okay, so
here's the thing.
give a rundown on what he did, because I don't think we're assuming everyone knows.
Dr. Disrespect goes deep into character, right? And I think he's very method about it. Like I think he completely detaches from the person that he actually is and plays Dr. Disrespect. And I could be entirely wrong. I don't know the guy. And that's his name, is Guy.
Yeah.
Fucking. But what he ended up doing was he was being just a fucking asshole, a twat. He was being a twat to every game developer. Like he rolled through Cyberpunk's little thing, and they were just gonna show like a 10-minute video He just walked in, and he's a big dude. He's 6'7", 6'8", something. Yeah, he's a big ass dude. So he just walks through with his muscle, and he's like, "Nope, fuck this. This is ridiculous. I'm a top tier streamer, tippity top. I'm at the tippy top of esports, and I'm not gonna waste my time." Yeah,
Two-time
back to back esport champion. Yeah. Fucking, but he just rolled through every one of these big developers. Is like, hey,
God, it was rough too.
this is shit. This is bullshit. Not worth my fucking time. And I was like, man, that is savage. And it was very well done as a character. But what he ended up doing was he was in a stall in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom, and then stood up on the stall, and then just started having a fucking diatribe to the cameraman. So what Twitch ended up getting him with was like lewd content, I think is what it was labeled, because he was recording in a bathroom, which is technically a private space. Yeah, it's illegal. Just generally, it's just generally, like federally, it is illegal. But I mean, nobody seemed to care, and that's irrelevant, right? But people were pissing, and I get the whole reason why it's a thing, because nobody wants their dicks on camera, like the possibility of their dicks being on camera. But everybody's just kind of putting their heads down. He was just going on his diatribe, and I think it was maybe 10-15 seconds max that he was actually in there. I could be wrong. It might be longer. I just watched clips, but he was in there. He was in the shitter. People were in there shitting and pissing, as one does. And that's that. He ended up getting banned from Twitch for it. And those bans last maybe a month or two?
No, most bans take 24 hours.
Oh, really?
By landslide majority, or 24-hour suspension.
Oh, okay. So nothing crazy then. Is he still banned?
He's still offline.
Oh, wow. All right.
So what do we think, man? Have we maybe?
He'll be back now.
Here's the thing too. I was surprised they banned him for like every day. I had full expectations of talking about this, and I was worried that Dr. Disrespect would be back before we were even able to talk.
Sure.
About it. But he's not. Like, it's been.
Here's the thing, though. It's very possible, right, that he is back, or let me rephrase. He could be back if he chose to be. But I don't know if you do. I know you remember, because you introduced me to Dr. Disrespect.
I love him. He's my favorite.
Back in the day when he cheated on his wife at some conference, right?
Yep.
He took 6 months off. He didn't stream for 6 months. Nothing. Didn't hear a word out of him. He just sobbed on camera, and that was, I'm sure, was genuine, right? Because family's hard. And it was like, I've taken time away from this to be with my family, figure things out, blah, 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 blah. The day he got back, broke records.
Holy
broke
shit,
records. Just the biggest streamer ever. The numbers that he put up were fucking insane. So the fact that he's banned, and the fact that you introduced me to this information just now, kind of solidifies my opinion on this, right? Most bans are 24 hours. He got banned maybe 48 hours, and this was a few days ago. But he's riding it out, and he's just riding it out, maybe a week, maybe two, maybe a month, something, right? And then he's gonna badmouth Twitch, which they don't fucking care. He hasn't
said anything.
But he could. Yeah. And they don't fucking give a shit. You know what I mean?
Twitch does care.
Do you though?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Ad revenue, bro. Do you know how many people are on his stream at a time, all day, consistent viewers?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But anyway, he could. All right. So take Twitch out of the equation, right? He could just be riding this out, and then just being like, just building up that tension. You know what I mean? Just building it up, saving it up, just letting it build, like a slow build, like when you haven't beaten off in like a month. You know what I mean? And then he just comes back on. He just comes back on, and everybody's like, "Bah!" Just fucking everywhere, and it's just another repeat of what he had when he came back after his family stuff. And I could be entirely wrong, but it's a theory, and it's I feel like it's viable because I feel like if people are a month without Doctor Disrespect, that they'll come back in droves as soon as he comes back online.
Also, something to keep in mind too is Doctor just like enormous. So like
Yeah.
The difference between some like a smaller streamer that does it full time, like Burke Black or Goldie or Femstaff or Bloody Faster, they're all progressively smaller streamers.
Sure.
If they take time off, that's significant amounts of money out of their pocket. Dr. Disrespect is a millionaire several times over.
Yeah.
Doesn't need the money. Like, doesn't need it. So, like you said, he's not. You absolutely could be right. Like, he'll be back. Like,
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
and he'll. I don't know if he's going to do record numbers, but he'll do record numbers for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
He'll come back.
He's not going to do like what did Ninja do, like 250,000 concurrent viewers.
I don't know, man. Something insane.
Like
Something insane.
It's a record like that. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct us, but
Because that's the internet, man. That's what they do. Actually.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm sure there's he'll be fine. Like,
He's not hurting.
Twitch is not going to permaban him either because
It would be stupid on their part. Yeah.
And
I mean, there are other chicks that are significantly smaller than he is. That they're essentially titty streamers. Like, let's be real about it. That's just what they are. And they're like, oops, And
Bears alive. She had a nip slip.
Yeah.
On stream.
Happens.
She was banned for 24 hours though.
It's rough. Must have been a rough day.
I don't think she gives a shit. She also doesn't need the money. She's live right now on a rerun. She's running with 180 viewers on it.
No big deal.
Fucking need a day. Doesn't matter.
Anyway, what game you want to get into, man? Are we good? You calm the podcast here? You solid? Got anything else
No.
from E3 you want to discuss?
Hit all my notes. Project Scarlet, talked about a game streaming about it. Death Stranding, Cyber 2077, games covered, E3 coverage is dead on mine.
Alright, I'm done.
Want to say bye to the people on the YouTubes?
Bye,
for
people
watching.
on the YouTubes. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for viewing the Bloody and Sutty show. I'm gonna go ahead and be so bold as to speak for both of us that we appreciate you being here. And no matter what you have going on in your life, no matter how hard it is or how easy it is, know that people care about you and that you are appreciated. And nobody appreciates you more than we do right now for watching us. So,
mainly because our lives are significantly worse than yours.
Yeah, we challenge you to make your lives more difficult than ours are.
You think you'd make it any worse? You take your best shot.
Spoiler alert: you won't win. But yeah, thanks again for coming by, having a chat with us, listening to us talk about video game and or nerd things, and
Just life and shit.
just life and shit.
I love that.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Finger guns.
All right, fuck off. Let's play games.